Banks backs away, runs out to his left, comes back to his right, throws it to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Dallas Clark! Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, Iowa! One running back, Smoker in the gun. Back to pass, looking right, throws right. It is hit, complete, picked off. Picked off by Garrett Kaeding. Going to the midfield. Bye-bye. 30, 25, 20. Touchdown, Iowa! 25-40. Sidesteps a tackler. He's going to go. 25-20. 15-10. 5. Goal line. Touchdown, Iowa!
Hi, Hawk fans. I'm Gary Dolphin in beautiful Miami and Pro Player Stadium, site of the 2003 FedEx Orange Bowl. You have to go all the way back to 1922. That's the last time an Iowa football team went undefeated in Big Ten Conference play. Not Niall Kinnick and the 39 Ironman team, not those great 50s Rose Bowl teams of Forrest Evashevski, even legendary Coach Hayden Fry with All-Americans like Tim Dwight and Chuck Long. None ever ran the table like these Hawks in what is considered to be one of the toughest conferences in all of college football. When it all came to a thrilling conclusion here in the Orange Bowl, these Iowa Hawkeyes stood alone with 11 victories and just 2 defeats. Indeed, one of the greatest teams in school history. So enjoy and relive the dominating wins, the thrilling last-second victories, and the individual spectacular achievements of these 2002 Iowa Hawkeyes. 4th down and goal in overtime for Penn State with the Hawks up 7. Last gasp for the Nittany Lions. Mills running for his life, throws, incomplete, the game's over. The Hawkeyes win. The Hawkeyes win.
Game in, game out, special teams, offense, defense, and team effort, and we're really proud of you. Congratulations.
Standing here on beautiful Miami Beach, it's hard to fathom that just a few short months ago, the Hawkeyes were a mystery team beginning training camp with many holes to fill. On top of that, Iowa was getting no respect. They were picked to finish anywhere from 6th to the bottom of the pack in the Big Ten. Despite a thrilling Alamo Bowl victory in San Antonio, Iowa was getting no national attention. Little did we realize then that inside the Hayden Fry and Jacobson Athletic Football Complex, players and coaches were brewing something special.
Our ultimate goal is to make it to the Rose Bowl, and that was a real, it's a high goal, and it's definitely, we thought it was definitely achievable, but we knew in the same sense that we'd have to work.
It wasn't bad, and we all got ready for that first game, and and it showed.
We lost some really good players. We knew we had some guys coming up that were capable of playing.
There was a lot of competition, guys pushing each other, and it made each of us better as individuals on the field.
Time for us to, I think you're right, to gel together as an O-line and trying to get that ball rolling.
We had a lot of guys returning, offensive line, a lot of defensive guys returning. So, I think everyone expected us to do real good, and I think we expected each other to do good.
Well, anytime you start off a season, you expect yourself to do well. You prepare to be champions of your league, and that's the way we prepared, and we expected to have a season like this.
This is where Orange Bowl preparations began and stopped, the beautiful Belle Harbor Beach Resort in Miami. New beginnings was also the theme for Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes as they entered the August preseason camp. On the non-Big Ten conference schedule would be Akron and Miami of Ohio out of the Mid-America Conference, in-state rival Iowa State, and independent Utah State. Fans would soon know what to expect from their 2002 Iowa Hawkeyes. The new-look Iowa Hawkeyes took the field Saturday afternoon, a warm, bright, sunshiny day, to face the Akron Zips of the Mid-America Conference. Iowa's sun-splashed fans were looking forward to seeing a few new faces, among them quarterback Brad Banks and tailback Fred Russell, subbing for the injured Aaron Grevin. It didn't take long for Russell to make Hawk fans everywhere feel good about Iowa's running attack. Off to Russell. He sidesteps 1, 2 tacklers. He's at the 30, may go. 25-20, 15-10, put it on the board. Touchdown, Iowa. The lightning-quick Russell's 44-yard scamper gave the Hawks a quick 7-0 lead. On defense, there were also new faces, among them linebacker Kevin Worthy, who, like Russell, made a startling impact. High school. Here's a shovel pass straight up the chute. The ball is fumbled. It comes out. Iowa picks it up, and heading north is Kevin Worthy. He is going to take it to the end zone, and no flags. Touchdown, Iowa. The fumble return for the score pushed the lead to 14-0. Akron was on the ropes. After a punt snap sailed out of the end zone to increase Iowa's lead to 16-0, it was Russell again making life miserable for the Zips. Here's Banks handing off to Russell, tries the short side of the field, squirts through a hole, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He's got one guy to beat, 5, goal line, touchdown, Iowa! Russell's second score of the day gave the Hawks a 23-0 advantage, and the rout was on. After the Hawkeye D forced a punt, Brad Banks went airborne, and another new starter, wide receiver Mo Brown, electrified Hawk fans with a big play. The Hawks polish off Akron 57-21, an impressive opening game performance for Ferentz team as it heads on the road to take on another Mid-America Conference squad next week, Miami of Ohio. The Hawkeyes knew heading into their first road game of the season, and the first time ever a Big Ten team has ventured into Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks would certainly be no pushover. The MAC power, known for tough football and churning out legendary coaches, had just beaten North Carolina on the road in the previous week. In order to avoid the upset, the Hawks had to take a near sellout crowd out of the game early. Deep drop handoff to Russell, scoots over left guard, runs through 2 tacklers, crosses the 20, out to the 24-yard line. Banks straight back to pass, wings it to the left side, wide open is Mo Brown. He's up the near sideline, 40, 35, 30. Second and goal, no score. Russell runs over left guard, big hole into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Robert Gallery steamrolled 2 Miami defenders. The 13-play drive, powered by Iowa's huge offensive line, gave the Hawks an early lead. All-MAC quarterback Ben Roethlisberger slingshots a touchdown pass to tie the game at 10. To Iowa's credit, the offense, led by QB Brad Banks, came right back, going 60 yards in 12 plays before Nate Kaeding added another field goal. The Hawkeyes clung to a 13-10 lead at halftime. Coming out in the second half, it was important for Iowa to strike first, and it would. Banks and Fred Russell teamed up behind the Hawkeyes' massive offensive line, grinding out another drive. Here's the snap, the spot by Bradley. The kick is on the way, and it is good, just inside the right upright. Man, is that kid tough mentally. After an Ed Hinkle fumbled punt, the Red Hawks capitalized, although helped a bit by Lady Luck. Trailing by 1, the Hawkeyes could have tightened a bit. Instead, Brad Banks and company punched back in a big way. Banks straight back to pass, fakes the pass short now, loops it up the near sideline, caught by, is that Mo Brown? Mo Brown. Jermel Lewis is in there. He sweeps through a couple tacklers into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. The Hawkeye offense got the ball back, and Banks and company, with that quick strike offense, off to the races again. The ball is caught by C.J. Jones. He heads for the sideline, has a blocker, 30, 25, 20, up the sideline, 10, 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa! Indeed, it was tough, but a well-earned victory on the road for Coach Ferentz' team. And a win that not only keeps the Hawks undefeated, but gives them momentum heading into the big clash next week with Iowa State at Kinnick Stadium. The atmosphere was electric Saturday night at Kinnick Stadium as the Hawkeyes hosted arch-rival Iowa State in one of the most anticipated games in the history of this series. Hands off deep to Russell. First down, 45-40. Sidesteps a tackler. He's going to go. 25-20, 15-10, 5, goal line. Touchdown, Iowa. Behind all Big 12 quarterback Seneca Wallace, Iowa State got a huge pass play to set up a short Hiawatha-Rutland touchdown run. Rutland right up the middle. He's inside the 5. The two teams battled into the second quarter, tied at 7. Brad Banks and the Hawkeye offense started to drive from their own 29, and capped by the strong running of Aaron Greving and Fred Russell, drove to the Cyclone 23 before settling for a Nate Kaeding field goal. Here's the spot by Bradley. The kick is certainly long enough, and he gutted it. Kaeding's 9th consecutive three-pointer of the year gave Iowa a 10-7 lead. After forcing another state punt, Brad Banks and the offense struck again with a big play, this time through the air. Wide out of the eye come the Hawks. Fake on the give to Russell. Banks back to pass. He's going to the end zone. C.J. Jones is there. Caught. 10-5. Touchdown, Iowa. Mo Brown. I beg your pardon, it's Mo Brown. What a pattern he ran. Iowa State again behind the brilliant passing of Wallace, forged into Iowa territory, looking to carve into the lead. This time the Iowa defense had an answer. 17-yard line of Iowa. Here's Wallace back to pass, lobs it to the end zone, looking for Danielson, picked off by Antoine Allen. And he's going to run it out, fumbles it, but it goes right to another Hawkeye. Up the near sideline is Bobby Sanders. More great blocking from the offensive line and the speed of Fred Russell. The
Hawkeyes moved downfield quickly before backup running back Jermel Lewis finished the drive off.
He's fighting for the goal line. He's in.
The Cyclones refused to quit and began a stunning comeback in the second half. Iowa State drove downfield to cut the lead to 10 early in the third period. And then disaster struck for the Hawkeyes. Brad Banks fumbled on a pass attempt, set up shop for Iowa State at the Hawk 33. 5 plays later, Wallace hit pay dirt again, and the lead was down to 3 for the Hawkeyes. Just like that, the Cyclones had stormed back to take a 28-24 lead. The alarming change in momentum continued seconds later, when Aaron Greving was tackled for a safety. The two-pointer increased the Cyclone advantage to 30-24. The Cyclones got a pair of field goals from Adam Beneke to push the lead to 12 before Brad Banks and Mo Brown hook up again for another scoring strike. Onside kick by the Hawkeyes failed. Iowa State ran out the clock to preserve a 36-31 come-from-behind win against the Hawkeyes. After a tough loss to arch-rival Iowa State, there was plenty of bounce back in these Iowa Hawkeyes. The Hawks stood up to the challenge on Saturday, facing Utah State and the Aggies' high-powered air attack. Like earlier Hawkeye opponents Miami of Ohio and Akron, the Aggies were a dangerous passing team. But as they had against Miami, the Hawkeyes played keep-away, opening the game with a grinding, time-consuming 17-play drive to grab early momentum.
Back to pass is Banks. Here's a quick slant to C.J. Jones. He's got his eyes on the goal line. He's over. Touchdown, Iowa.
The 83-yard drive and score chewed up over 6 minutes, and Iowa had a 7-0 lead. Following an Aggie punt, the Iowa offense, behind the brilliant play of quarterback Brad Banks and tight end Dallas Clark, and a tremendous running attack, pushed the ball downfield without mercy.
7. Back to passes. Banks wings it to the right side, has Dallas Clark, and Dallas runs away from a couple of tacklers. He's got the first down across midfield, 45-yard line of Utah State. Has a couple tight ends to work with. Out of the eye, the give us to Cervantes. He crosses the goal line.
Another long drive and another touchdown increased Iowa's first quarter advantage to 14-0. For the second quarter, it was Banks to Clark again, as the Hawkeye offense really began clicking. It was an amazing acrobatic catch by true freshman Clinton Solomon that electrified the Kinnick Stadium crowd.
Going up the near sideline for Clinton Solomon, and he made a one-handed grab. Unbelievable catch at the 5-yard line. He warded off the cornerback.
And Brad Banks took over from there.
He's going to go into the end zone untouched. He just optioned down the left side, waited for his blockers to materialize.
Iowa led 21-0, but to Utah State's credit, the Aggies got Iowa's attention with a nice drive, capped by a 25-yard touchdown off a fake halfback pass by Roger Robinson. The Hawks responded in kind, moving the ball thanks to another terrific catch and run by Dallas Clark, who later settled for Nate Kaeding's 35-yard field goal. With a 24-7 advantage at halftime, Iowa knew better than to relax, and quickly showed in the third period this lead would stand up.
Lewis, same play, cuts it back against the grain. First down, 35-40, 45-50. Forget about it. Nobody's going to catch Jermel Lewis as he sprints 75 yards. Touchdown, Iowa.
The big plays continued for the Hawkeyes later in the period as Iowa's special teams unit joined the scoring fray.
Block it. The Hawks have blocked it. It's rolling through the end zone, followed on. Touchdown, Iowa.
Nate Kaeding, who is without a doubt one of America's best kickers, showed why minutes later with an impressive 51-yard boot. The Hawkeye defense, not to be outdone, added some scoring of its own as Jared Klaus plopped down this fumble in the end zone.
The fumble. Crosby rolled out, tried to get rid of the ball, couldn't. It's a fumble. Who's on it in the end zone? The ball squirts back into the...
Coach Kirk Ferentz got to play everybody as Iowa now sets its sights on the Big Ten season and Penn State next week at Happy Valley.
Coach Ferentz, he put that he put that on the table for us. He let us know, we had 3 seasons this year. Preseason, we had the Iowa State game and then Big Ten. And I think the Iowa State game, we lost. I really don't like to talk about it much, but I think it helped us out and let us realize that, we got to pick it up. It's time for Big Ten season. And, we ended up, we started off and went out to Penn State and, and things started working from there. And as we went on during the season, things got a lot better for us.
You never really know until you're actually out there on Saturday and performing, stuff like that. So it was a little shaky. We understood that we had a lot of potential and that if we worked up to that potential, that good things were going to happen. But like I said, you don't know what's going to happen until those Saturdays come around.
These sugarcane fields of southern Florida are a long way from Kinnick Stadium. But like these sugar fields, Brad Banks is a prized, popular commodity in this part of the country. One of Belle Glade's favorite native sons and Iowa's amazing QB, who in his only season as a starter rewrote records en route to a Big Ten MVP and Heisman Trophy runner-up, showed the nation just how special he was when the Hawkeyes invaded Happy Valley to take on nationally ranked Penn State.
For the second time in 3 years, the Hawkeyes went into Beaver Stadium and State College and were forced to work overtime. But the extra sweat and toil paid off, and Iowa's winning streak stands at 3 over the Lions, 4 victories in the last 5 meetings. There were many heroes on this day on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Here are just a few.
On in the opening quarter, no score. Banks back to pass. The protection's good. Over the middle, caught. Dallas Clark, midfield, 45, 41-yard line of Penn State. Back to passes. Banks rolling out to his left, throwing on the run. Has a man wide open. That's Mo Brown. First down, 30, 25, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Iowa. No, he stepped out of bounds at the 3. I beg your pardon. Here's Banks rolling out to his right. Wants to run. No, now he's going to throw into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Iowa. C.J. Jones. Zach Mills at quarterback. He's going to throw on first down, and he's sacked. Just as he started to cock and fire, out of the hole to David Bradley, 47 yards. Kaeding certainly gets into it. It's long enough, and it's right through. Kaeding cuts another one. Zach Mills stands back. Blitz coming. He gets rid of the ball just in time, but fumble. Larry Johnson threw the football. Freddie Barr jarred it loose. Hawks have 3 wideouts, and the give is to Russell over right guard. He's got some running room. Ducks it to the outside. He's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Freddie Russell blitzes by the Penn State defenders, and nobody laid a glove on him. Single receiver to the left. That's Michael Robinson, the quarterback. Here he takes it on the option pitch. He's pulling up the throw. He's got it. He is drilled, cut in half by Kevin Worthy. Robinson will feel that one for a while. Second down and long. Mills gets rid of the ball as he's hit, and it's picked off. And it's picked off by Derek Pagel. Banks back to pass. Protection's good. He wants it all. Over the middle, caught by Clark. Dallas is at the 25, down to the 20-yard line of Penn State. First and 10 Hawkeyes. Here comes a blitz again. They pick it up. Banks goes to the end zone for Hinkle. Caught. Touchdown, Iowa. Unbelievable throw. Unbelievable catch. And an incredible catch by Eddie Hinkle, who grew up 3.5 hours away. Here it is. It's good. The spot is down. Kaeding's kick is on the way. It's long enough. It is good. Kaeding hit the upright, and it kicked through. Robbie Gould, a high snap, and it's blocked. It's intercepted or picked off by D.J. Johnson, and he's running down the near sideline. He is going to take it all the way. It's a two-pointer for the Hawkeyes, and what a turn of events that is. Hawks have been spectacular on third down conversions. Back to pass, blitz coming. Banks runs away from it, throws on the run, caught. It's caught. He's still on his feet. He may go. Mo Brown breaks away from the tackler, and he goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. 54 yards. They changed the play. You know who he's going for. Here's a throw to Johnson in the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. End of regulation. Iowa 35, Penn State 35. Third and goal at the 6. Banks looking, squeezes it in the goal line. Touchdown. Iowa. C.J. Jones has caught the ball. Last gasp for the Nittany Lions. Mills running for his life. Throws in. We win. The game's over. The Hawkeyes win. The Hawkeyes win.
Oh, it was just awesome to be in that stadium, you know, and to beat Penn State up there and just, I mean, pretty much silent the whole stadium was just unbelievable. I mean, it felt so good, and, you know, to have all my family up there and everything like that, it was just awesome.
You know, they got a little life to them at the end of the game and came back and tied it up. But I think we knew as a team that, you know, we could do the things we needed to do to win, and I think it was a big builder that, you know, we pulled that out, and we showed that we learned from that Iowa State game, and we were able to, you know, finish the deal.
I think it was just basically about starting from the bottom, you know, just doing little things and, you know, let everything else happen naturally, and it happened for us throughout that whole game, really. And, you know, we had a couple of breakdowns that game too, but of course, you know, you're gonna go through that, but we wanted to have more positives and negatives, and we did, and you know, and we came out with a W for that game.
It seemed that Brad Banks was always delivering in the clutch, whether it be here at Belle Glade Central High School or in one of America's premier power conferences, the Big Ten, where Banks delivered a crucial conference season opening win over Penn State and got Iowa some much-needed national media attention. As it turned out, it was just the start for number 7, where he went on to become the Associated Press Player of the Year and Heisman Trophy runner-up in truly a spectacular campaign.
Absolutely, this is Brad country now. This is Brad country. City of Belle Glade is designated for Brad Banks right now.
That's Belle Glade. You live in Belle Glade, you know, chasing rabbits down there is just like somebody driving a car. You know, it's nothing special, but you know, that's just the nature of down there, you know, especially when the sugar cane's burning. That's the best time to go. Rabbits everywhere. They're ripping and running. So you catch rabbits, you take them home, or you go sell them, or you just eat them, whatever you want to do with them. And you know, I grew up doing all that stuff.
He's just taking it all in stride. You know, he doesn't appear to be excited. You know, he's just so cool, calm, and collective, you know. I just can't get over it. I think it's always been in his character. He seems to wait his turn. And once he waits his turn and gets his opportunity to prove himself, he does a great job of doing it.
Absolutely, Brad has really set the path for the city of Belle Glade, and you can hear the kids all screaming about Brad Banks. He really done some good things for our community.
This truly is one of America's great football stadiums. Presently home to the Miami Hurricanes, the Orange Bowl II was played here for many years before moving to Pro Players Stadium. This was the site of many football classics. Kinnick Stadium was the site of a classic on October 5th when Iowa met Purdue. This game had it all: drama, urgency, and what would turn out to be the defining moment of the season.
On a day when maybe the Hawkeyes didn't deserve to win, they did. Purdue had 30 first downs to Iowa's 14, ran 88 plays to 59, outgained the Hawks 507 to 384 yards. But as defensive tackle Jared Klaus likes to say, yards don't get you to the Rose Bowl, wins do. In the end, the Hawkeyes start the season 5-1 for the first time since 1996. Why? Special teams were again special. Here come the Hawkeye highlights.
And he's back to pass. Fires over the middle. Caught and running downfield and maybe all the way, and going all the way is John Standifer. They're not going to catch him. Out of the eye, they wing a receiver to the left, and the give is to the second man through the running back, and he's over the goal line.
I don't see a goal line.
He sure looked like he was over.
Yet.
Yeah, now they do.
Finally.
Now the try for the field goal from 22 yards. It's blocked. It's blocked at the line of scrimmage, and the Hawkeyes have it running the other way. It's Antoine Allen. It's a foot race. 45, 50, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Needs one block. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, Iowa! Incredible! Second week in a row, the Hawkeyes block an attempted kick and run it back for points the other way.
What a momentum changer that is. Antoine Allen, what a great young football player he's becoming. Listen to this crowd.
Shoulder pad met his helmet. Horton's lucky he didn't get blocked. Here's a block. The punt is blocked. The punt attempt is blocked by Abdul-Hodge. It's in the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, Iowa! Sean Considine got the block. Sean Considine and Abdul-Hodge got there, and the Hawks take the lead. I was about to say special teams turned a big play in the first half. Let's see if they can do it again, and be doggone if they didn't do it. Third down and 7, call it, from just shy of the 5. Banks straight back to pass, flips it to Clark. He catches at the 10, first down, 15, still on his feet. 20, 25, 30, up the near sideline. Needs a blocker, and he's gone. 40, 35, 30, put it in the bank. He's at the 10, 5, touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, Iowa! The big play again for the Hawkeyes on a simple release from the left side of the line. Completely caught Purdue off guard. Abdul-Hodge is right in there. Here they come. The blitz is on Barr. Flushes Kirsch, but he's going to get the first down. And he may go to the end zone. He does. He sidesteps an Iowa tackler. He was looking for the first down, and he sidestepped both Pagel and Grant Steen, and Kirsch runs into the end zone. First and goal. On play action fake, they hand off to on a counter play, and Purdue's in the end zone. They went with a tight end counter.
Show wing T, reverse.
Yep. Hawks have no timeouts left, down 28-24. And Purdue's had him solved all day defensively. Blitz coming again. Banks on a quarterback draw. Gets a couple nice blocks. 20, 25, 30, 35. He's loose. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40-yard line. He's run down from behind. A touchdown saving tackle. Mo Brown goes in motion. Banks backs away, runs out to his left. Comes back to his right. Throws into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Dallas Clark! Touchdown Iowa! Touchdown Iowa! But hold the phone. There's a minute 7 to play. A minute 7 to play on the way. Purdue moves the football. Hopefully Iowa didn't leave too much time on the clock.
From the field, they got to look out here.
Here's intercepted.
We got it.
Intercepted. The pass is picked off. Intercepted. In and out of the hands of the tight end.
It's one of the best series I've ever been part of, on any team, and just to be in that situation, be part of it was a real thrill, and just, to finish it off with that touchdown catch was definitely the topper, and it was just, I'm just glad we got ourselves in that position.
Like Penn State game, we knew we was going to score. We didn't know how, we knew we was going to score. And Coach O'Keefe called the draw play, and we executed it well. And we ran a couple more plays, just getting us downfield.
The incredible come-from-behind victory gave Iowa a 5-1 record at the midway point of the season. These Hawks were a talented, well-coached group, but now had a bushel basket full of confidence that they could win any game, anywhere. Up next were two old tough foes, Michigan State and Indiana, where new stars would emerge to lead Iowa to victory. These 2002 Iowa Hawkeyes, perhaps more than any other team in the country, score points from all directions, be it offense, defense, or special teams. Saturday, against a Michigan State team picked by many to finish near the top of the Big Ten, the Hawks put it all together, especially on defense, smashing the Spartans 44-16 and nullifying All-American wide receiver Charles Rogers. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Hand off to Moss, and he's into the end zone. Just like Purdue last week, down early 7-0. Now let's run one back all the way. Jermel Lewis and C.J. Jones are deep. Going to be Jermel at the 5 as he takes Rayner's kick. 10, 15, 20, turns the Jets on. He's at the 30, 35, 40. One guy to beat. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Did we call that one, buddy boy? Touchdown, Iowa!
You called it, buddy boy. You called it.
Here's a handoff to DeJuan Moss. He's mowed over by a blitzing Freddie Barr. Smoker on play action. He wants it all, and he's going up top, and he fires up the far sideline. Picked off by Bob Sanders. Intercepted by Bob Sanders. Going for Rogers. The ball was well underthrown, and have they scouted Smoker well? On play action, Banks options out to his right. Got a whole lot of running room. Now he covers up and runs. He's at the 35 and bounces off a tackler. He's at the 31-yard line. What an effort by Brad Banks. Now he tries a field goal, and it's good. He's still perfect in field goals. 12 out of 12 is Nate Kaeding. One running back, Smoker in the gun. Back to pass, looking right, throws right. It is incomplete, picked off. Picked off by Derek Pagel.
He's going the distance.
Midfield.
He's going the distance.
Bye-bye. 30, 25, 20. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, Hawkeyes.
Man, oh man, Pagel saw that coming, stepped up from his safety spot, and stepped right in front of the receiver, took it on the run, and ran it to the barn, as you say.
Here's the pitch to DeJuan Moss. Freddie Barr runs him down at the 9-yard line. Barr came free on a red dog, and Moss never got out of the starting blocks. Banks on play action. Has C.J. Jones wide open. He's caught it. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, Iowa.
You cannot draw it up any better than that. They have the full blitz, and Grubbing makes the block that gives Banks the time.
Out of the shotgun, Smoker looking for 3rd and 7. He's grabbed. He's going to be dropped by Matt Roth. The Tasmanian Devil spins him down for a 2-yard loss. And Kaeding's kick is on the way, and he loops it right through. Smoker looks left. Plenty of time. Now he's got to run. He's going to be dropped again. Fumble. Fumble. The Hawks are on it. 1st and goal, Hawkeyes, as Russell runs for the 1st down. Here he comes again, sweeping the left side, cuts it back behind Gallery's block. 5, goal line, touchdown, Iowa! A bulldozer of a block by Robert Gallery. Matt Roth jars the ball loose as Dowdell wanted to throw it, but he never cocked his arm, and it's on the ground, and the Hawkeyes have recovered it. Banks with a quick drop, pump fake short, comes back the other way, wants it all, goes long, into the end zone. It is caught. Is it a touchdown?
It's a
yes,
touchdown.
it is. C.J. Jones, touchdown, Iowa.
That was so unusual because They thought he wanted to go to Mo Brown, and Mo Brown was running over the middle. They picked him up. Now that's the way you want to throw the ball if you're throwing the up pattern. Outside and long.
Iowa 44 and Michigan State 16.
The interception, actually the night before in the hotel I was thinking, you know, am I ever going to get an interception at Kaeding Stadium? I really didn't know if I was good. I knew 5 or 6 games left. I had an opportunity. So, and then I got to thinking that same night, God, I wonder if I'll ever score. Like, what are the odds I'd ever score at Kaeding? And it happened the next day. The quarterback threw the ball, and I was in the right spot at the right time, and you know, took up silence for the touchdown. And you know, I came to the sideline after that. I'm thinking, well, I was like deja vu what I was thinking the night before.
There can be little doubt that the Iowa Hawkeyes are one of the nation's best first quarter teams, making a habit of pouncing on opponents with a flurry in the opening minutes of almost all their games. After Saturday's 17-0 first quarter lead at Indiana, the Hawkeyes have now outscored opponents this season in the first quarter 119-21. Brad Banks and company got things going in a hurry.
Now throws it upfield, has Clark at the 42. He gets the first down to the 45, 46-yard line of the Hawkeyes. Terrific protection. Here's the snap. Banks on the option, pitches to Russell. He's got the first down. He's at the 40, 35-30, down to the Indiana 27-yard line. Brad Banks with exquisite execution. Fake on the give to Greving. Banks now rolling back, avoids a couple of tacklers. He rolled out to his right. Now he's going to cover up and keep. He gets to the Indiana 20, heads for the far side of the field. Needs a couple of blockers. 15, 14, tries to turn the corner, and he's wrestled down at the 13-yard line. Here's the give to Freddie Russell. Tries the right guard. He's fighting for the goal line. He's over. Touchdown, Iowa. The Hawkeyes have scored on the opening drive of the game. Now to punt it away, Ryan Hamray averaging 38.5 yards a kick. He gets into a good one. Backs Hinkle up to his own 30. Starts back upfield. Gets a couple of blockers. He's at the 40, 45. Look out! He turns the corner. He's got one guy to beat. That's the punter Hamray, and he can't quite get around him. Not enough room on the far sideline, and it's a tough angle. But if anybody can kick it, it's Nate Kaeding. Here's the spot, the snap. He line drives it. It's on the way, and it is good. Should we doubt him? Back to passes Hampton. Hawks got him on the run, and the Hawks are going to get him on the ground just as he releases the ball. Now, if that isn't intentional grounding, I don't know what is.
Yeah, they threw it down.
Oh, they did.
Right
Okay, so the Hawks try and take advantage of good field position again. Here's Banks on play action. Fires upfield to Clark. He's across the Indiana 40, down to the 35-yard line. The Hawks are cooking, and they're coming out throwing. 18 on the pickup. The Hawks are in Indiana territory. Play action again. Wide open is Mo Brown at the 30. He's at the Indiana 20. Gets a great block downfield on first and goal. Hawks looking to build on a 10-0 lead. Look at that hole. Fred Russell not touched as they run over the right side. David Porter and Andy Lightfoot just cave in the Indiana defensive lesson.
In the second and third quarters, however, the Hawkeye offense staggered. Indiana's defense stiffened, and turnovers began to play a part. But defensive coordinator Norm Parker's aggressive defense played the bend but not break style of football that has helped the Hawks to their first 7-1 record since 1991. Just when it looked like Indiana would cut into Iowa's 17-point cushion, interceptions and sacks closed the door on any Hoosier scoring threat.
A terrible decision, but a great one for the Hawkeyes. Hampton back to pass, rolls left, throws back to the right, and it's picked off again by Grant Steen. He's got 2 interceptions on the day.
An Indiana field goal cut the lead to 17-6, but C.J. Jones responded and continued Iowa's amazing run of great special teams play this season.
He needs a couple of blockers. He's at midfield, heads for the far
A
side.
rare Brad Banks interception killed the drive when it caromed off a Hoosier helmet. But minutes later, after yet another Indiana punt, Banks made up for the mistake with another big Iowa offensive play.
Caught by Mo Brown at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He's going to go to the house. Touchdown, Iowa.
The 65-yard catch and run by Mo Brown increased the Hawk lead to a more comfortable 24-6. But those pesky Hoosiers threatened a time or two again, so it was fitting when Grant Steen picked off his school record 3rd interception to seal the deal for the 7-1 Hawkeyes. Up next, Michigan in the Big House with first place and the inside track to the Rose Bowl at stake.
C.J. Jones told me on the sideline, he's like, "You're going to get a 3rd one," and I was, joking with him, it's not going to happen. And then when it happened, I just couldn't believe it. I was just laughing on the ground and felt the other guys pick me up, and so it was joyous. But I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen again for me.
Hawkeye Day.
With a sparkling 7-1 record, the now 13th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes faced their biggest test. A date in the big house against top 10 Michigan in front of 111,000 fans and a national TV audience. In a game that rocked the college football world, not only did Iowa do it on D, but it crushed the Wolverines with an offensive arsenal, the likes of which hadn't been seen in Ann Arbor since 1967. There's no stadium quite like Michigan Stadium, which has been, for the most part, a house of horrors for visiting teams throughout its 75-year history. Saturday, though, was a different story. The Iowa Hawkeyes invaded Ann Arbor and handed the Wolverines their worst home loss in 35 years. Iowa continued its season-long trend of winning the coin flip and then letting the offense get out of the gate early.
Banks is back in the shotgun. Clark, the tight end. Banks on a quarterback draw. Gets a nice block. He's at the 40-45. He's at midfield. First down. Michigan territory at the 48-yard line. Banks straight back to pass. Blitz coming. Here's a quick slot receiver screen to Jones. And he breaks through into the clear. He's going to go to the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown, Iowa on what looked like a broken play. A near interception.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. They had the blitz on, and the blitzing quarterback ran right past the ball. It went over his head. And then a beautiful block downfield, and I couldn't tell who it was for sure.
On play action, Banks straight back to pass. As an open receiver, Clark with a great catch at midfield. He's down at the Iowa 49-yard line, 1st and 10 Hawkeye. Brad Banks is in the shotgun. Cervantes back in there for blocking. Here's a quarterback draw. Banks uses a block from Steinbach. Cuts back up the field, 30, 25, 20. Still on his feet to the Michigan 17-yard line. 1st and 10 Hawkeyes. Brad Banks doing it with his feet and his arm. It's on the left hash. Like a point after touchdown. Here's the snap, and it's drilled right through. Kaeding gives Iowa a 10-0 lead. As Navarre goes back to pass, the Hawks get to him with 4 men, and down he goes. Down he goes, Howard Hodges.
In the second half, Michigan's first possession resulted in a 40-yard field goal and cut the Iowa lead to 10-9. The Hawkeyes were forced to punt on the ensuing possession, and familiar faces on special teams regained the momentum for Iowa.
Kick is a good one, backing Curry up to his 25-yard line, and he's dropped his fumble. It's fumbled, and the Hawkeyes get on it. Iowa has the ball at the 10-yard line. Was it Dallas Clark? Scotty Bolin comes up with the ball. Blitz coming. Banks gets rid of the ball quickly to C.J. Jones. Gets a block from Nelson. He's fighting for the goal line. He's down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Iowa. A tremendous block by Bruce Nelson as he got out in the left flat. Banks retreats from center. Quick flip in the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Iowa. C.J. Jones on the grab, and the Hawks cash in on the fumble punt. Here's Navarre. Straight back in the packet. Steps up. Now he's going to be sacked. Now he's drilled by Colin Cole, by Jonathan Babineau. Banks options out to the left. Now pitches to Lewis. Lewis turns the corner. Has the first down. He's at the 45, 40-yard line of Michigan. First time we've seen the option today. Lewis is back in. He takes the handoff. Runs over right guard. Cuts it back to the middle. He's in the Michigan secondary. 15, 10, 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Hawkeyes. Banks, long count. Now the turn, the give to Jermel Lewis. Inside David Porter. He goes over the goal line. Touchdown, Iowa.
And they like this defense in 3rd and long.
4 wideouts. Here comes the rush. Hodges is all over him, and down he goes. Navarre backed away from center. 7-yard loss. Howard Hodges. The give is to Lewis. Big hole over right side. 45, 40. Cuts it back. He heads to the sideline. 30-yard line. Cuts it back again. 23-yard line of Michigan. 1st and 10 Hawkeyes.
What a hole that was.
Here's a snap out of the shotgun. Banks rolls to his left. Here's a shovel pitch forward to Lewis. He's got the first down. He's at the 10, 5-yard line, goal line, in the house. He's in the big house. Touchdown, Iowa. How good is that young man?
Sure-footed kicker Nate Kaeding added a late field goal, his record-setting 20th consecutive, to put the finishing touches on a historic victory for the Hawkeyes and their devoted faithful.
I think that every year people come in and there's good teams and there's teams that are just so-so, but I think Michigan's team was a good team this year, and I think that we were just a better team that day.
Everybody thought they were going to win, and they were, number 8 in the country and whatever, and we weren't getting any respect. And I think at that point we finally got a little respect around the nation, because we went in there and we beat them pretty bad. We beat them up physically and, offense, defense, everything.
Yeah, I think that game was better than the Penn State game. To me, it was.
Why was it?
Because that's like, I don't know, it's like we in the big house. The big house, that's all people talk about is the big house this. And you're going to get scared playing in there. All the fans going to be talking and yelling and screaming, but I ain't hear nothing.
In defeating Michigan 34-9, Iowa handed the Wolverines their worst home loss in over 35 years, and at the same time delivered a message to the rest of college football. These Hawkeyes were no fluke. Instead, they were perhaps the best team in one of the toughest conferences in America. And now, smelling a Big Ten title, Iowa needed to take care of business against a couple of old rivals in Kinnick Stadium, Wisconsin and Northwestern. The Hawkeyes' magical season had no letdown Saturday against Wisconsin at Kinnick. The Hawks' impressive win at Michigan last week dovetailed into a repeat performance defensively versus the Badgers. The 20-3 Iowa victory assures the Hawkeyes of staying in or climbing up the top 10 ladder. And at the Wisconsin 24, the give is to Anthony Davis. He's dropped for a yard loss in the backfield and picking right up where he left off last week, Howard Hodges. Badgers send the tight end in motion to the left. They run that way with Anthony Davis, but he's going nowhere. He's spun back for about a 3 or 4 yard loss, and the Hawkeyes with a terrific job of gang tackling. Bollinger straight back to pass. He's dropped for a sack. Matt Roth, the defensive end, coming on a twist. He stunted up the middle of the field from the right side defensive end and drills Bollinger. 3rd down and 2. He options out to the right, pitches to Lewis. He's got the first down and more. 40, 35, 30. Out of bounds at the Wisconsin 28-yard line. That's a Hawkeye first down. Kevin Worthy's the long snapper. Here's the spot. It's certainly long enough, and it is right through. That's 21 in a row for Wisconsin. It's Mike Allen. Here's the line drive kick, and it's good right through. Bollinger in under center, Al Johnson. He's straight back to pass again. The Hawks get him on the ground at the 15-yard line. Here's Banks, quarterback draw. Runs to the 40. He ducks inside a Badger. He's at the 35, down to the 33-yard line. A nifty gain of 12. Kaeding, he's back to pass. Fires over the middle of the field, has C.J. Jones underneath. He's got the first down at the 21-yard line, inside the 20. Banks with plenty of time back to pass over the middle of the field, has a man wide open in the end zone. Caught, touchdown Iowa. How did he get so wide open? With the run defense continuing to shut down the Badger running game in the 3rd quarter, the Hawkeye offense started to click behind Brad Banks. Lined up to the short side of the field. On a fake handoff on the draw, Banks throws downfield looking for Clark. Caught! 40, 35-yard line of Wisconsin and down at the 31. What a terrific catch by double 4. Clark has 3 catches for 54 yards. Wisconsin coming on a blitz. That leaves somebody open in the middle of the field. It's C.J. Jones. He catches it. He's knocked down immediately at the 11-yard line. That's another Hawkeye first down. So Nate Kaeding is on for another field goal try, and he booms it right through. So the Hawkeyes take 3. Here's the handoff on the delay to Anthony Davis, and he's going nowhere as the Hawkeye run defense flexing its number 2 national ranking. Here's Banks rolling out to his right on the gun. Wings a pass to a wide open Mo Brown. He runs away from a Wisconsin Badger. 30, 25-yard line. 3rd quarter, Iowa 13, Wisconsin 3. Jonathan Welsh, a sophomore from Houston, made that last tackle. Banks throws wide open. Dallas Clark at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. What a sell short. Brad Banks pump fake short. Wisconsin bit on it. Clark ran right up the seam. Wide open for the touchdown as he backs into the end zone. Yep. Tight end goes in motion as Sorgi rolls out to his left. Pump fake short, fires long, looking for Jonathan Orr, and it's almost picked off. Nearly intercepted. Good coverage by Antoine Allen. Daniel Owen, who is the new Wisconsin quarterback, the 3rd Wisconsin quarterback. He's back to pass. Here comes the push. He tries to run up the middle of the field, but down he goes. And it's Jonathan Babineau with another sack of a Wisconsin quarterback, the 4th one of the day. The workmanlike, methodical blue-collar victory for Iowa gives the school its first 6-0 record ever in the Big Ten. Northwestern comes to Kinnick Stadium next Saturday.
We knew that they were a good team. Bollinger was a great quarterback as far as like scrambling and doing the intangibles as far as like getting his team the first down and things like that. And he really hurt us in the past. Every game that we played against him since his freshman year, he's really hurt us. So knocking him out, that really gave us a big boost as far as our defense is concerned.
It was more Melrose magic as the Iowa Hawkeyes said goodbye to 24 seniors in hosting Northwestern Saturday. The Hawks were looking to several milestones. In the end, Iowa secured win number 10 with a 62-10 frolic past the Cats. Several players got their names into the record book as the Hawkeyes wrote another chapter in a storybook year. Northwestern, knowing it would have to pull out all stops to upset the number 6 Hawks, wasted little time reaching into its bag of tricks. It's a, they onside kick. And it's picked up by Sean Considine, and he brings it down to the Northwestern 22-yard line. I'm back.
Terrific field position set up shop for All-American candidate at quarterback Brad Banks, and the Hawkeyes scoring parade ensued.
Start the game. Russell, big hole over right tackle and guard. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. 2 minutes into the game, the Hawkeyes are on the board. A group of receivers to the right. They're going for it on 4th and inches. They swing a pass to right out of the backfield. He's dropped. 4-yard loss. What terrific anticipation defense by Freddie Barr. On a bootleg, Banks wants it all. Goes to the end zone. Has a man out there caught. Touchdown, Iowa. Mo Brown. It's 13-0. Here he is on 2nd and 10 out of the gun. Fires into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Iowa got caught in a blitz. Long count now. The snap. Banks, quarterback keeper. He's up the gut. Now he heads for the left side. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa. Had Northwestern completely fooled there. And out of the shotgun, it's a quarterback keeper, and Belle drops the quarterback Jenkins short of the first down. 1st and 10 again. Back to pass is Banks. Upfield looking for Mo Brown. He's got it. 30, 25 of Northwestern. 20. Kiss it goodbye, baby. Inside the 10. Goal line. Touchdown, Iowa. Here's a deep drop handoff to Russell. Runs through a hole again over right side. Midfield. 45-yard line of Northwestern. Down to the 42-yard line. What a huge hole. So it's 3rd down and a long one for the Hawkeyes. Banks options out to his left. Has the first down. He may go in. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Iowa. Brad Banks runs out of 2 Northwestern Wildcats. The Hawks put 6 more on the board.
Ahead 35-10 at halftime, the Hawks quickly increase the lead through special teams. Ed Hinkle takes it the distance for Iowa's first punt return score of the year.
Hinkle awaits it at the 42 of Iowa. Should have a chance for a return. 45 midfield. Look out. Heads for the far sideline. 40, 35, 30. Cuts it back to the middle. He's at the 20, 15, 10. He goes in. Touchdown, Iowa. There are no flags. And now the Hawkeyes have found every way with which to score this year. The only thing lacking in terms of how this team scored in 2002 was a punt return for a score. No more.
Coach Kirk Ferentz emptied his bench as everybody got to play and made plays.
Play action, rolls out to his right, wings it to C.J. Jones at the 15, out of bounds at the 10. Or is he? He goes into the end zone. Let's see. Touchdown, Iowa.
And now only the Minnesota Golden Gophers stand in the way of a possible outright Big Ten championship and Rose Bowl berth. The Hawks roll 62-10 to stay perfect in the conference at 7-0. These are the Barry University practice fields, the home of the Hawks in Miami as they prepared to take on USC. However, before Iowa could enjoy a Big Ten title in the Orange Bowl spotlight, it had to take out Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, always at the end of the regular season, and an opponent that had ruined more than one Iowa party for other outstanding teams. At the end of this season, however, the Hawks left no doubt there would be no letdown. Minnesota found out, as did 30,000 Iowa fans in the Metrodome. It would be an undefeated Big Ten season, the conclusion of a spectacular campaign. Rarely does a team have a chance to make history. Saturday in the Metrodome, the Iowa Hawkeyes and Minnesota Gophers were playing for a lot more than Floyd of Rosedale. On the line for the Hawks, the Big Ten championship and the school's first 11-win season, a perfect conference record for the first time in 80 years, and a legitimate shot at a BCS Bowl. There was quarterback Brad Banks inching closer to the Heisman Trophy. And for the 9th time in 12 games, the Hawkeyes found pay dirt on their first possession.
Banks on the play action fake, rolls out to his right, looks downfield, fires Clark, caught, 35-30, Minnesota 25-yard line, still on his feet, 23-yard line, 1st and 10 Hawkeyes. One running back is Russell. He's got the handoff, over center and left guard, all the way down to the 15, spins his way to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Iowa. The give is to Russell, cuts it back to the left from the right. He's at the 5, he's going to go in. Touchdown, Iowa! There's that cutback on the turf.
Yeah, and that's Eddie Hinkle staying with his block.
Iowa 7-0. Here's Kaeding looking left, has his man at the 5, fighting for the goal line, and he is over. Touchdown. Whoa, a heck of a play by Antoine Burns. Here's Banks on 1st down, the handoff to Russell, big hole. He's loose in the backfield. Midfield, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, one goal for the beat, 15, 14-yard line, wrestled down there. Freddie Russell gets the Hawkeyes operating 1st and 10 at the Gopher 14. Just inside the Minnesota 8. Vonage goes in motion. Banks is running that way. He pitches to Lewis. He's looking for the end zone. He is over the goal line. It's touchdown, Iowa. Iowa back in the lead, 13-7.
Perfect execution by the Iowa offense.
Twin receivers to the left. Patterson's in the slot. Burns to the top of the field. Burns has the touchdown catch. Here comes a rush. Howard Hodges drills Malik. The ball's on the ground.
Give it a
Hawkeye
Hawkeye.
football. Man in motion. Banks running to his left. Keeps it inside the 10, down to the 5. Fighting for the goal line. Touchdown, Iowa. Brad Banks does it again. He almost had the linebacker rip his jersey off at the 3-yard line, and he still got into the end zone.
If he's not the Heisman Trophy winner, you show me one.
Cervantes still in the backfield for blocking. Here's Banks back to pass. He's got protection to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Iowa. Mo Brown on a slant to the post.
Boy, and he looked it off, too. Mo Brown was over here with single coverage.
Minnesota got some badly needed momentum back right before halftime, scoring a touchdown, and the Hawks led 28-14 at the intermission. The Iowa offense had played stellar football in the first half, but it would be that salty defense that would get the game under control early in the third quarter.
Derek Pagel has it. A jarring hit. 1st and 10 Iowa at the Gopher 37. Russell trying the right side. Big hole. 30-25. Down to the 22-yard line. Here's Banks on a quick slant, but it's to Clinton Solomon. Caught. Touchdown, Iowa.
Beautiful throw. They just took the inside receiver.
Here's a fumble. Here's a fumble. A jarring hit on Kaeding by Colin Cole. He caught the ball up. Jared Klaus has recovered.
Talks about no huddle.
No huddle. Banks on the keeper. Boy, the Hawks are having a tough time getting in. Let's
There it is.
Touchdown, Iowa. Banks right in behind Bruce Nelson.
When all was said and done, the Hawkeyes had latched onto their 10th Big Ten Conference Football Championship. Elated Hawkeye fans celebrated in the Metrodome, which had just played host to the largest crowd ever to witness a Minnesota football game. All that's left now is what major bowl will Kirk Ferentz troops be playing in?
Just say a couple words about this team. I've been watching you all year long, and you're undefeated champion of the #1 conference in the country. I know it's been 80 years or something like that since you had 8-0. I think 5-0 in 1918, but 8-0 in 2002. You're going to be someplace. I don't know if it's the Fiesta Bowl or the Rose Bowl or someplace, but you're going to be playing. And you're going to be playing You're going to be playing another great champion, and I know we'll be with you all the way. And you represent the Big Ten, and just terrific job. You play game in, game out, special teams, offense, defense, it's a team effort, and we're really proud of you. Congratulations.
It was a nice experience. And, you know, not too many teams is able to go undefeated in the Big Ten and win the Big Ten championships.
It's great. I didn't know coming in here if we were ever going to be Big Ten champions while I was here. You know, and to do it in your senior year just makes it all that more special. And I think it's great. I mean, co-Big Ten champions or just, you know, solo Big Ten champions, same thing to me, same thing as to this team. You know, we went 8-0 in this Big Ten, in the conference. I mean, last team to do that, you know, was in 1922, so that's obviously a huge feat.
So after perfection, an 8-0 run through the Big Ten season, it was on to an Orange Bowl bid and many postseason accolades for individuals of this Iowa Hawkeyes. #3 ranking, National Coach of the Year Kirk Ferentz and his Hawkeyes look to finish things off right here in the Orange Bowl against the University of Southern California Trojans and Heisman Trophy winner quarterback Carson Palmer.
Woo-hoo! Go hard! Yeah! Yeah! Right there to go, man. Right there to go, baby. Right there to go, man.
Hawkeye football, the Orange Bowl against Southern Cal is coming up. The opening kickoff is next. And the Orange Bowl, the FedEx Orange Orange Bowl is underway, and it's a high, deep end-over-end kick, fielded by Jones a yard deep. 5, 10, 15, squirts through a hole up the far sideline. 25-30, 35-40, he's at midfield. 45-40, look out, 35-30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Iowa! 101 yards. C.J. Jones streaks to the other end zone.
Untouched by anybody. Unbelievable. This place is going to go nuclear.
What a start to the 69th Orange Bowl. Here comes the snap, and Palmer on play action is back to pass, and he wants it all. And he's going long downfield. He's got a man open, and it's caught. 20-yard line, 10-yard line. The ball's fumbled, and the Hawkeyes are on it. How about they're calling USC down? Carson Palmer. They send a man in motion. The tight end, Palmer, hands off to Vargas. He tries the right side, fighting for the goal line. He's over. Touchdown, USC. On second down and long, on play action, Banks, quarterback draw all the way. He's at the 45-50, has the first down, across the Southern Cal 45, rolled down at the 42-yard line of USC. Therefore, the Hawks have 4 receivers on the run. Here's a big running play over right guard and tackle Russell. First down to the 24-yard line of Southern Cal. Oh, misdirection, caught USC napping. Banks retreats from center, 3-step drop, quick slant, caught, goal line, he's shoved back. Is that Hinkle? Caught at the 1-yard line, I believe, by Ed Hinkle. He disappeared in a hurry. The Hawks go for the lead with 6.5 to play first quarter. Here's the hold by Bradley. The kick is certainly long enough, and it's right through. Man in motion out of the slot left to the right. Palmer back to pass again. Down he goes. He's in the grasp of 3 or 4 Hawkeyes. And what a push upfield led by the interior. Jared Klaus and Colin Cole. Cervantes the blocking back. Here's the handoff to Russell. This is Jamel Lewis. And Lewis is loose for big yardage, but he fumbles the ball midfield. He's hit from behind, and Southern Cal has it. And the spot by punter Tom Malone. It's down. The ball is on the way. It is good. This one he hooked right through. The game is tied with 1:12 to go. First and 10 at the 15 of Southern Cal. Banks, quick drop, wings it over the middle, caught at the 2-yard line and down to the 1-yard line. Caught by the slot receiver. It's either Hinkle or the tight end. Nope, Mo Brown. Kaeding's kick will be from 28. Again a low snap, and the kick is blocked. Unbelievable. Kevin Worthy having all kinds of trouble getting the ball back there. Palmer's looking that way. Now he comes back left into the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. Southern Cal by the freshman Mike Williams. First and 10. The ball now right at midfield. Hand off to Vargas. He's got a big hole, and he may take it to the distance. He will. He takes it the distance to the end zone. 51 yards and a touchdown. And that was against a very tired Iowa defense. 47 seconds to go in the game. Hawks are driving at the USC 18. Now Banks, nobody open, will run to the right, reverses. Field goes back to the left, throws over the middle, it's caught, touchdown. Touchdown Iowa. That's good, we can yell that one more time this season. Mo Brown on the catch, the grab, and he backs into the end zone as Pete and Kirk exchange congratulatory handshakes and hugs, and the game's over. Final score, Southern California 38 and the Iowa Hawkeyes 17. A sour ending to a great season for the Hawks. Nobody expected 11-2. The bewitching hour has struck here in the Orange Bowl as the Hawkeyes lose to an outstanding Southern California team 38-17. But it doesn't tarnish one bit the tremendous season enjoyed, the record-setting season enjoyed by this Iowa football team. 11 victories and 2 defeats. And now it's on to the future. A bright future indeed under the leadership and guidance of Kirk Ferentz and his staff. Thank you for watching.
block. Here's a block. Here's a block. The punt is blocked. The punt attempt is blocked by Abdul-Hodge. It's in the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, Iowa!
Usually special teams are either the defense failed or the offense failed. Special teams go on the field, and then all of a sudden, just it's complete eruption either on a blocked punt or blocked field goal or something, and just to hear the Kinnick fans just scream and just totally turn the momentum around. And I mean it's definitely threatening to the opponents, and it's definitely something that we use towards our advantage, and it's a big play.
If you're not out there on offense or defense, the only other way to get out there is on special teams. And for some people, they go through their whole career never playing on offense or defense, and that's how they get out there. It's the one time where you can put everything else aside and just do what you can do. It's a great opportunity, and you're able to showcase what you can do, and along with the 10 other people on that team, you can make some great things happen.
On kickoff, I'm the wedge man, so I just go down and I just blow up the wedge, and that's just, I think, the funnest thing in football. It's the best thing that you could possibly do.
All out for one play. I mean, especially the kickoff and the punt. I mean, I love doing that stuff. That it's really no responsibilities. You don't have to think. No one's going to yell at you at the sideline that you had to check the number 1 receiver or do something else. I mean, you just run down and tackle a guy.
Looks like Chick Easy-Ozzy out of Cedar Rapids.
Special teams so far this whole year, it's been a really good thing. It's helped out our team a lot. So I'm not satisfied yet. I could look back at the end of the season and see the things we've done, but we've got a lot of work to do. We can help out our team here a lot in special teams. So.
One of the goals is we want to provide for the offense or the defense and give them better field position. So if we could do that from special teams, it's just a bunch of adrenaline that's running through you, and it's just great out there.
And the Hawkeyes have it running the other way. It's Antoine Allen.
What a momentum changer that is. You know him as a movie star, is that fair to say?
Occasionally.
Yeah, now a sports personality, so it's a great honor to have Tom Arnold join us.
Guys, first of all, it's a big honor for me to be here, considering I grew up in this state. By the way, I've been in 36 movies, 2 good ones. Every time you guys play here, I know it's big for you guys, but it means so much to the people of this state and the people that support Iowa, and I'll be out there. I mean, I live and die with you guys still, and I'm 43 years old, millionaire, I got it all going on, but yeah.
All right, Tom, let's pick it up a little bit. Not bad, not bad, not bad. He may have a spot for us.
It's always fun to come back here from Iowa, and the great thing is, because I have this show, the Best Day on Sports Show, period, they pay for it. Before I had it was on my own dime, which wasn't so bad. Actually, it's on my ex-wife's dime, but still, it's great to come back, and it's exciting. The Iowa State game is very exciting for everybody, and I get to see a lot of people that I grew up with and know, and get to spend a little time with the team, which is a huge honor.
Great to see our old buddy Tom Arnold. The state of Iowa is very proud of Tom.
This is a sand-based field, so everything is being laid on 12 inches of sand, so it's a little bit tricky. This is sand-based sod also, which is grown in 100% sand. So the water can go right through it when it rains a lot. So what we're doing is harvesting the sod and getting it here as quickly as we can, and then unrolling it and trying to get it watered.
I believe we started on it in June, around the 1st of June, so it's actually come along pretty fast. It should be ready for fall ball, so it's gone quite well.
It's a pretty fussy deal. It's got to be just so-so. It's got to pass Ted Thorne's specs.
We've got this product at the University of Tennessee in their practice field. It's also at the University of Colorado on one of their practice field. It's not abrasive. The rubber actually makes it very soft for the players. So there's, less chances of injuries. They don't have to wear all the elbow pads and all that.
Any project like this is great, and it's really fun, especially for the employees when they see TV spots and stuff, and they see the guys practicing and know that they did it.
When we get ready to get going, go to the stadium, we bring everything that it takes really for us to put a football game on, and that's everything from bubble gum to a clock to hang in the locker room to players' football equipment. All the trainer stuff, we assist the video people in loading their stuff. Basically, when we leave Iowa City, we're moving our football operation to our destination.
Well, actually, a good friend of mine, Ed Huff, started. He's the one that owns the trailer, and he started back in '83, and then I think in '85 I went with him on a game or two, and it just kind of progressed from there. And then in '87, I guess it was, I bought a new truck and had it all done up to match the trailer, and been doing it with him ever since. And it's been kind of a two-man show with Ed and I, and then the last few years, Bill Allen, he's the kid that drives the truck all the time. He's been doing it.
Bag initiation. Freshman got to carry him out. You'll be seeing me again.
Neat thing about moving in to Michigan State or anywhere else we go, it really is the same. All the student managers, the video students, the athletic training students, everybody pitches in. Probably the thing that I think is the neatest when we move into the stadium is it takes us 55 minutes and we are done.
We're putting their pads in their lockers, like their shoulder pads, putting their shoes underneath their pads, putting their all their game pads in their locker, like in their sleeves and their everything. And then pretty soon we're going to put their helmets on top of their lockers, get them all prepped up for the game, and hopefully let's go out and win, Got to do our thing, so.
Well, we get here and we have to set up the taping stations and make sure all the Band-Aids and supplies are out and ready, and make sure all the players can get in and out easy enough so it doesn't get too congested in here before the game.
Video staff brings equipment to the hotel and to the players to watch tape in the classrooms, which we try to recreate just like back at home at our football offices. This is a place where they get to watch video and tape of the other team and try and figure out what their tendencies are and stuff and what they're going to run.
It's really my pleasure to award the Stu Gray Memorial Award today to Bruce Nelson.
It seems about a year ago, that was actually 4 years ago, when we had our freshman breakfast. And I got up here today and it was all of a sudden I noticed how much support we really have, you know what I mean? And 600 people, that's a lot of people to get up at 6 in the morning, and come over just to have a few eggs and listen to Gary Dolphin crack jokes,
And we've got an All-American tight end who's got stickier hands than Winona Ryder. So,
most importantly, they play as a team, and I have to tell you, it's all due directly to the leadership this group has given us. They have done a fantastic job. If we could recognize them one more time, I'd really appreciate that. Thank
I think it feels pretty normal right now. Hasn't really hit me yet. It's the last time, but I'm sure when we get on the field it will. It's been a good run. Walking out of that tunnel, that is the best. That tunnel, baby. That's all she is.
We were approached by the Hawkeye football team, and they were interested in helping us out collect some food, because we have had a huge increase in clients coming in, about a 30% increase over the last couple of years, so we're in need of food. It's very well organized. The coaches come with the team, so they kind of keep track of them, and you can tell that they're used to working together. They set up an assembly line, and they get the work done in record time, really.
We're bottling up cans for the crisis center for the needy, especially my favorite chum, salmon. But it's a great community service project. We're just happy to be here helping out the community.
Everyone is surprised to hear that the football team comes here all in one mass group and really sets aside an entire day to help us out. Knowing how busy their schedules are and, you know, with the trainings and the traveling that they do, it's remarkable that they're able to commit to the community every year and help in this effort.
The spirit of Iowa and its people, they deserve to have something like this to celebrate the past and the present and the future. And I'm very glad to have this opportunity to do so. Thank you.
The University of Iowa Athletics Hall of Fame, the Roy G. Carroll building, Mike, is an opportunity for Hawkeye fans to come and to have the entire experience of over 100 years of Iowa athletics at its best. And that's what we're excited about, is it's one place to showcase its excellence in the academic realm. Well, what's neat about it is you sort of start, and it's sort of in a chronological order, where you're going to come and you're going to see the entire timeline of Iowa athletics. Well, what we've had fun doing is pulling together a lot of the vignettes from football games in the 20s to the highlights from the 2001 Alamo Bowl. And you can actually go on a computer terminal, pick up which highlight you want, just press on that screen, and before your eyes is a 30-second to a 45-second vignette of those highlights. What we're hearing as we have traveled and looked and done the research on this facility, it is one of the largest and the finest as a freestanding facility. Many people have built their Hall of Fames as part of something else. But here at the University of Iowa, as you know, we always do the best. And what we have done is Roy Carroll's gift has provided us the opportunity to build one of the finest Hall of Fames at the collegiate level.
For the children and the families and the communities to come out and see all the sports teams and athletes that they admire and love.
It's a great feeling to have, know that your fans are behind you 100%, and they just show that they care and they want the Hawkeyes to win this week.
They appreciate it. We're always happy to take time out of our schedule to come out, meet people who come to stadiums on Saturdays and back us.
I'd like to be a quarterback when I get older, so he's my favorite.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good for me. I like to see the team, and the kids love it.
Well, it's a lot of fun, but it's kind of hard sitting next to Bruce Nelson because the guy's a social butterfly, and he talks to everybody just before they get to me, and then they get to me, and it's like, who's this guy? And then I'm trying to talk to him, trying to make small talk, but the kids are staring back at him. I mean,
Sports night is all about meeting the teams. It's a chance to get to know the players and everybody involved and the athletes involved at the University of Iowa.
I was born and bred Hawkeye fans. My whole family, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandpa, everyone came here. I've always gone to the games. And I went to the Rose Bowl in '91. So yeah, this is a big honor for me to be sitting here now. It's great.
I enjoy seeing a lot of people out here. They know who you are. That's the great feeling about it. You know you're loved. It's a beautiful state, beautiful state. Best all-around player, best quarterback, best guy we faced so far. So I know our defense is looking forward to it. I'm glad I'm not playing defense against him. And I'm happy for the opportunity to have met him, and looking forward to seeing him out there in Miami.
Individual sets to enter the most exclusive fraternity in all of sports.
In a stunning debut season as a starter, Brad became the nation's most efficient passer, lifting the Hawkeyes to a conference co-championship and their first 11-win season.
What was the key to your success, you think?
I think it was my teammates. You know, they, brought me in and, helped me out, made me feel at home.
And the winner is Carson Palmer from the University of Southern California.
It's something, it's a lot of fun. It truly is, and you get the chance to meet four other guys, and go through this experience with them is something that you should cherish for the rest of your life.
Again, I'm sure you had to be a little disappointed, but if you step back from this whole thing and put it all in perspective, the fact that Brad started his first ball game in college back in August, what a great success story it is, what a great season he's had, and the best news is there's one more to go. Big Ten football is a special tradition. More than 5.5 million fans pack our stadiums each year, making Big Ten football what it is today. So respect the game and show good sportsmanship, because the Big Ten sets an example for everyone to follow, before, during, and after the game.
Big Ten football. Good sports make great fans.